Ask me anything. I am the dad of a family of 4, dad, mom, daughter 15, son 4, who have lived and traveled the USA in our RV for the past 4 years and are still on the road. We stay at locations 1 to 3 weeks before moving on. Ask me anything. We launched from our house in June of 2015 on what we thought was a 1-year trip. My kids were then ages 11 and 4. We sold the house in August of 2017 and almost all of our belongings in May 2018. Ask me anything, but assuming the topics will be related to RVing, full-time RV living, home road schooling, and being a nomadic family. Are you able to fit in manage extracurriculars like sports, model Congress, United Nations, etc.? What are your kids' plan for future education and training? i.e. college, university, vocational school, etc. Do you think they could leave the nest and be on their way to self-sufficiency to maintain a nomadic lifestyle? If you grew up the way you are raising your family, would you have been able to obtain and maintain the kind of job that lets you be nomadic right off the bat? We have done a few extracurriculars. There's one family who offers online Irish dance lessons, and we spent summer in Orlando so that my daughter could shadow a photographer. Magical Pics by Candy Clark. We do have friends who have stayed stationary for a spell to allow their kids to participate in sports and other things. My daughter is eyeing up college but still doesn't quite know what she wants to be when she grows up. She loves photography and has been inspired by the photographer she shadowed. She very much wants to participate in the Disney College program. My son is 7 and just wants to be a kid for now. The couple of kids that I've seen graduate out of nomadic homes have mostly gone to stationary lifestyles, while they either save for college or go straight into school. I'm not sure what it looks like for us. My daughter has talked about everything from a homestead to a van to an apartment with friends. And my son, well, he says he's living with us forever. Do you always stay in campgrounds or do you spend time off-grid? How safe are the campgrounds where you have stayed? Any incidences of theft while you were away on hikes or whatever? 99% of our time has been spent in campgrounds and RV parks. We rarely go off-grid as we have been slaves to hookups, electric, water, and solar. Though, 2 weeks of dry camping without hookups at the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta has renewed my want to get away from it all. Hopefully 2020 becomes the year of boondocking, aka off-grid camping. Campgrounds have been very safe. Every once in a while my spidey sense will tingle and I'll lock some stuff up and keep the kids on a bit shorter of a leash. I did have my first incident in 9 years of RV camping that I had a bike stolen in Jacksonville. I partly blame myself for ignoring the spidey sense and knew I should have locked stuff up. It was recovered, but we won't get back through there for another month to get it back. Upvoting for the spidey sense comment. It's real. My dad used to talk about it. When I listen, it helps. Has saved me from bad situations, tickets, and whatnot. Just wished I had listened that day and hadn't lost my dang bike.
What's your favorite fruit?
Fresh pineapple. But I hate the fabled Dole Whip at Disney. Go figure? Blasphemy. Just thinking about it I can taste it, and it's been 6 years since I had it last. I know. We're opposite to the cult following. But bleh, too much pineapple flavor. Maybe if I had one with alcohol, I might like it better. But we'll see. What is the best state that you've seen on the road? Utah. Absolutely beautiful everywhere we turned. But way too rural for me to actually live there. I'm guessing southern Utah? We spent 3 weeks in southern Utah near the Arizona border, and it was beautiful. We spent 1 week and then 3 weeks in Moab, and that was beautiful. We spent 2 weeks in Salt Lake City. We loved the city, though 8 weeks of rural wilderness might do that to you, but also really enjoyed the areas on either side of the city. I've heard nothing but good about Capitol Reef NP. What are the common misconceptions about you and your family when you tell people about this? We don't have a whole lot of issues outside of people thinking it's cool. I have been offered a comfortable bed and place to shower that makes me chuckle. People mean well. My own mobile bed wins hands down over any guest room, but I've definitely enjoyed real showers here and there where I can stand under a stream of hot water for 20 minutes straight instead of carefully conserving. We are almost always on water hookups, and we have a 10 grams or 12 grams water heater. I don't deprive myself of good hot showers. Well, thinking a little more about it, it's a common misconception that we're out here alone and all by ourselves. We are members of an organization called Full-Time Families. It's 1,500 plus other families just like us who live and travel in RVs. We are able to find friends, new and old, as we travel as or as little as we want. In fact, I'm sitting now at a rally that will end up being about 70 families. Quite a few who we know already and who my kids look forward to seeing again. Plus we'll make new connections and will be mindful to connect up with others down the road. I spent 7 years growing up on the road as a child as a touring musician's brat. My mother, my granddad and 2 uncles formed the core of the country and western group The Last Straw Band. They chased the Nashville Dream across the sea and with honky-tonk circuit in the late 70s across most of the United States, even internationally for a while, as part of the A-list touring the caravan circuit. We too would spend anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks before moving on to the next location. It gave me a very broad view of the world and people in general, but also left me with a number of maladaptive socialization and relationship forming issues that took me many decades to mostly overcome. It left me a considerable socialization deficit when we settled down as I entered high school. I simply didn't know how to be anywhere or around anyone for any protracted lengths of time. I'd never built up the skill base or comfort zone familiarity. Have you considered this element in your children's development? What's your plan? I think the big difference of traveling for work versus traveling for leisure is that we are able to put the kids' socialization to the forefront. Being part of an organization called Full-Time Families gives us a community that moves with us, so to speak. While we might only see people for a couple of weeks at a time, we will very much likely see those same families down the road again. We've adapted travel plans so that we could roll alongside of friends for a few months at a time. Oh, I see. That's interesting. Have you considered contacting any sociologists, child developmental psychologists, or collegiate psych departments, seeing if you and the other families could form the basis of some sort of long-range study? I haven't, but I'm friendly with the owners of Full-Time Families and will mention it to them.
How many states have you visited?
I think the official number is 32. We have driven through a couple, but unless we sleep a night, we don't count it. How do you make income? What are taxes like? I have a normal 9-to-5 job for a large consulting company doing software development work. I work from home and my home that just happens to have wheels in my yard changes regularly. We were able to pick a state of residency. We picked Florida so we do not have to pay state income tax. Oh, and we get Disney discounts. You must be like a manager to be able to pull off a 9-to-5 gig doing software dev work? Nah, I just mean it's a normal job. Not freelance or other arrangements. I put in the hours required, but to a limit I won't kill myself over bad planning. How do you all get and maintain privacy and alone time in such a small space? That took a long time for someone to ask. I expected it earlier. How do mommy and daddy get it on? Mostly late at night. Part of my RV floorplan requirement was that the kids and us both have a hard doors. As well, I didn't want a floorplan that had the kids' room right outside of my room. Otherwise, we swap babysitting with other families or grandma and grandpa come to visit and get date nights.
How did you keep your son from aging?
Well, crap on a cracker, that sucks for a typo. He's 7 now. How are your children's social lives considering they won't physically be near friends for more than 3 weeks? It's 3 weeks at a time. We are members of an organization called Full-Time Families that has 1,500 plus member families around the US who many live and travel just like us. Through that, we have friends who we traveled with on and off for up to about 6 months at a time. We hit popular snowbirding hotspots in the winter where there are a lot of friends that we know. We can truly be with other families as much or as little as we want throughout the year, so long as we stay flexible with our plans. I would have blown my brains out by that. Jesus Christ, you can only be around family for so long. Lol. Our core family of 4 are together almost all the time. But the rest is family and friends on and off as we travel. So interesting, thank you. As an introvert who has never needed to stay in close physical proximity to friends, this sounds like a dream. I'm an extroverted introvert if you can imagine. I need regular interaction, but to also seriously recharge in the quiet intimateness of my immediate family.
Do you feel qualified to road school your children? And how does it work? Do you have to answer to some criterias?
Each state is different, and my experience is only with Maryland and Florida. The Homeschool Defense League, HSDLA, is a good resource on what is needed in each state. Maryland required that you prove that schooling is happening on a regular basis. Florida, we joined an umbrella school and only have to report attendance, the number of days we performed school. And honestly, we were wholly unprepared to take on schooling at first. We initially hired a homeschool consultant to help us get started. We learned as we went and now do feel qualified for it. There are so many resources available and we have a network of friends to lean on. I appreciate you if you also feel the same as I do. Go hit the like button, but it would be awesome if you smash that subscribe button as well.